Hi, Papa. Hi, Mummy. Surprise. No, I want to start off by thanking Jitu Uncle and Manpreet. They called me up today morning and they said if I could just share a couple of minutes. And I'm really glad to hear from both of them. So, thank you very much, Jitu Uncle and Manpreet, for giving me the chance to be with you all today. Uh, I don't know what to say, but let me give this a try. I am absolutely not qualified to talk about the kind of work you guys do in VHEW, and again, the great work that all the ladies do in VHEW and outside as a wonderful group. But I want to add my perspective कि एक बच्चा कैसे देखता है पूरी चीज़ को, and how I have related to VHEW via dad and mom. And before I talk about that, I want to spend just maybe 30 seconds on how I grew up. In the 90s, जब मैं छोटा था and I used to see ठीक है पापा जाते हैं ऑफिस जाते हैं L&T में काम करते हैं, and till that time I used to feel I just seeing dad go there and seeing him focused on his work, even sometimes when he would come back I would see him engrossed in work, and I felt that was the reason why I started looking up to him and said I want to be like that. But समय जाते हुए थोड़ा दिमाग भी थोड़ा खुलता है, and having the benefit of some more reasoning, I have been able to decipher that when I was a child and I had that intuition that I want to work hard, I want to be like dad in many ways, to the extent that my abilities allow me to. It was not what he was doing in L&T. यार बच्चे को क्या पता चलेगा कि भाई पापा क्या करते हैं. I keep talking about myself as a बच्चा. I'm 28, but ठीक है, a kid is always a kid. So let me talk on behalf of, say, all the kids in VHEW. You can just think, this is what they might be talking about 10 years, 15, 20 years later from wherever they are now. So, when I thought what was the real reason why I wanted to become like them is, मेरे को नहीं पता था पापा लोग ऑफिस में क्या करते हैं, but I would see these times when there was out of office engagements, नीलो से अंकल, वाइस टी अंकल, हम लोग पिकनिक्स पे जाते थे, and we had nice holy gatherings, एक दूसरे पे रंग लगाना and all of that, and then I used to see moms, and there was such a bonding between them, and my only real perspective about L&T or the kind of work that dad used to do and what mom used to do voluntarily was to see these out of office engagements. And I used to feel, yeah, I want to be part of such a community where even outside work people just gel up so nicely, and these wonderful ladies, they volunteer their own personal time, they have a lot of responsibilities of their own, and they give up their time to be with us and try to make things happen when they're not required to, but they still do. And I said, अगर ऐसी community का part बनने के लिए पढ़ना ज़रूरी है, if you have to work hard, then that is what I will do. And I think the real reason why I started looking up to them was this, and seeing these out of office engagements. And somewhere along the line I grew up, and since 2008 probably 11 साल हो गए, 10-11 साल हो गए, I have been out of my home for studies, and now I've been working. और मुझे लगता है कि somewhere along the line I lost touch about what that kid Anand used to feel, and this is where VHEW comes into picture. In 2015, I by that time I had a unique perspective of working for HSBC. It's a global organization headquartered in the UK, and also having the unique perspective of being the son of an L&Tite, again a global organization headquartered in India. And while I had started working there in HSBC, I love my job, by the way. I absolutely love my job, but it was always work, and there was no real perspective about seeing your colleague as a person first. There was no real perspective about a person who has a family with which you can bond and share some nice moments. And I've then realized that it is that bonding which even reflects on to work, and that is something that I absolutely let's not get too extreme. I do not find it to the extent that I do observe that in L&T. And coming over to VHEW and having lost touch with a lot of the good things that I saw about L&T just because I was away from home and all of you guys, I started losing touch there. And when I come to VHEW, again, Papa Mummy के side से मैं बात करूँ तो again, as this is my perspective. Midlife, you have to go and relocate to a completely new city where जहाँ पे आपका कोई social group नहीं है, कोई family group नहीं है. I can imagine when you're 20, 30 it's easy, but midlife it's not. But they have done it. At this point I would like to talk about mom a little more than that, because Papa का तो फिर भी he was in L&T, and we have an inside joke that पापा के लिए तो L&T पहला परिवार है, and हम तो जो 2-3 घंटे बीच में मिलते हैं उसके लिए हैं. And by the way, we don't say this with any disappointment. We say this with a lot of admiration. To see someone so focused on their work is really inspirational. So for him it was not that big a change, I imagine, but मम्मी के लिए बहुत बड़ा change था. She had a big routine over in Surat. She was teaching a lot of kids. She was attached to a lot of those small kids, and I can just imagine what she must have gone through to give it all up just to be with dad. कि चलो पापा जा रहे हैं, I'll also go with him. And she comes over and she has the wonderful support of so many other ladies, where I just used to see the glow in her face. मतलब कितना टाइम तो मैं फ़ोन करता था तब फ़ोन एंगेज आता था, बात नहीं होती थी. And this is not something that has happened a lot of times, but it started happening after Mummy VHEW में आई, and she became part of all these events. And in 2015, after I came back, as I was saying, every time मैं घर जाता था, I used to see the same look of content, satisfaction on dad's face that I used to observe earlier. And मम्मी में जो energy थी वो दिखती थी. And I just used to start feeling that this is the community you wanted to be a part of. And Anand Mela tha, and so many other functions that I have been privileged by coincidence. I used to be in Baroda at the same time when a lot of these gatherings used to be, and it was just a very heartwarming experience for me. And at, I would say, a very critical point in my life in terms of career, VHEW has played a very important role for me, because to see the kind of engagement that all of you have in the office and the way it reflected outside, the family ke saath and all of that, it reminded me, this is what actually inspired me to go out and get an education, get a job and work for it. So one thing I will say is, no matter where I go, I will always be an L&T boy. It'll keep me grounded wherever I go. So, and VHEW has a very, very, very big role to shape that opinion, or rather reinforce that opinion that I've had since I was a child and somehow lost it. So I wish the very, very, very best to all of you in VHEW. Again, I don't know a lot about the kind of work you do, but I do know it's fantastic. So please do keep it up. I'm way too small to be saying this, but please do keep it up. And dad and mom, every day is a blessing with you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.